Hola clase, en esta lección vamos a hablar de los verbos en el tiempo condicional. So hi class, today we are going to talk about verbs in the conditional tense. So why the conditional? Conditional is something that is different than what we have been using all year. Everything all year has been set in stone. So for example, when we were talking about the past, you already did something. The future, you will do this, it's set in stone. Versus the conditional is a little bit different. So these are translated as would, could, must have, or probably. We use it when we are talking about probability of something, the possibility of something, wonder, or conjecture. So basically, as I said before, it's not set in stone. We don't know exactly. So an example of this in English would be, I would buy a house if I had $1 million. So you guys can see the example there. I don't have $1 million. I wish I did. But if I had it, I would do this. So you guys can see the possibility aspect of that there. Looking at our conditional tense, you guys can see, as I said before, it's like saying would and then the verb. All right, so as an example, they have provided, I would run. Now, the easy part about the conditional, which is why we teach it right after the future, is that you're just adding the endings to the end of the infinitive. So just like the future tense, all you have to do here is take the infinitive and add on the endings. So I'll give you the endings in a minute. But one thing that I want to point out, and this is very important, is that you need to pay attention between the conditional and the imperfect tenses. Sometimes these two tenses can get mixed up. So I provided you two different examples here so that you guys could see the difference between the imperfect and the conditional. We know that when we were using the imperfect, you used to talk about something that you used to do or you would do when you were younger, right, over a period of time, or something that was a habitual action, meaning it was repeated action. So, for example, in the imperfect tense, we have I would run when I was younger, something that happened a lot. Also, no beginning, no end time as well. Versus the conditional tense, I would run if there wasn't snow outside. Okay, so you can see the possibility there. If there wasn't snow, I would run, but there is, so might not do it. Okay? So that's where I want you guys to be careful between those two. But as far as conjugation, as I said before, same as the future tense, meaning you are just adding the new endings to the end of the infinitive. You are not dropping the AR, ER, or IR. And bonus, the irregulars are the same as the future tense. So when I told you in the future tense video to study those irregulars now and it'll help you out later, this is what I meant. Same exact irregular verbs, same exact stems. So you're just memorizing a new set of endings. So here are your endings. So you guys can see they're all going to be the same. So yo is ia, tú ias, él, ella, usted, ia, nosotros íbamos, vosotros íais, and ellos, ellas, ustedes ian. All right, so an example, our verb mirar or to see, miraría, tú mirarías, él, ella, usted miraría, nosotros miraríamos, and ellos, ellas, ustedes mirarían. So again, using that in the conditional tense, I would see, you would see, he, she, or you would see. So you guys can see that example. One thing I want to point out, verbos con acentos en el infinitivo. So some verbs have accents on your infinitive. For example, oír has an accent on the I. So when a verb has an accent in the infinitive tense, or the infinitive form, excuse me, right, you are just going to take it off. That's basically it. So now you can see here, instead of having an accent over that first I, we take it off because that second I already has an accent. Now here is the great part, our irregular stems. You guys can see all of them. Again, they should look really familiar to last week. Same exact irregular stems as our future tense, except for now, instead of adding the future tense endings, you guys are adding the ia, ias, ia, iamos, ian to the end of those. So here are a few examples I'm going to provide you guys with. So the concept of would. So it's a potential or conditional action. So here's my example in English and in Spanish. Without friends, the boy would be alone and sad. Sin amigos, el niño estaría solo y triste. So again, that one would be an example of the would portion of conditional. Our next one is the concept of wonder, an application in the past. So what time could it have been when the students returned? ¿Qué hora sería cuando los estudiantes volvieron? And lastly, our other one is conjecture, so the possible or probable actions. It should be 8 a.m., more or less. Sería las 8 de la mañana, más o menos. So those are some examples so you guys can see what the conditional tense actually is. So as I said before, you're adding your ending to your infinitive, and it has the same exact irregulars as the future tense. If you guys have any questions, just let me know.